Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nex+Gen Academy's third graduation. We are honoring 46 very special young men and women here today. I am Dr. Michael Stanton, and I have had the honor and privilege to be the founding director of Nex+Gen Academy and principal to these remarkable learners. Here to help us celebrate the achievement of our graduates are community and district leaders that both help to build our school and are providing new leadership and support to sustain the special work of Nex+Gen to prepare our students for college and career. Let me first introduce APS School Board members, Dr. David Piercy, and Peggy Muller-Aragon. From APS leadership, we have Dr. Brad Winter, Interim Superintendent, Mr. Ruben Hendrickson, our Chief Operations Officer, my boss, Mr. Todd Resch, Assistant Superintendent for High Schools, and Debbie Elder, Director of Innovation. And of course, I'd love to introduce my right-hand counselor, Mrs. Julie Becker. We will now have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mr. Ricky Arrighetti and Adriana Venegas Diaz.
We will be saying the Pledge of Allegiance twice, once in English and once in Spanish. So men, please remove your baseball caps and or caps. Already done? Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and for the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Juro fidelidad a la bandera de los Estados Unidos de América y a la república que representa una nación bajo Dios, indivisible, con libertad y justicia para todos.
I am proud to announce our first pair of senior speakers. Samantha Ann Heine is daughter of Dirk Heine and Gloria Baca. She was a very active student in high school, but in her own words, I did way too many extracurriculars. These extracurriculars included band, student government, honor society, dual credit classes, yearbook, all while having a full schedule at Nex+Gen. She will attend UNM in the fall. Adriana Venegas Diaz, daughter of Carlos and Guillermina Venegas. She was in band for 2 years and in student government for 4 years. She will be attending UNM in the fall with the Woodward Scholarship. Samantha Heine, Adriana Venegas Diaz, salutatorian.
Once upon a time, 100 students started out their high school careers with a smile and a simple sense of what determined happiness. They were going to make it to the end of their dreams, the dreams they thought would be easy to achieve, but they realized weren't anything but. They had their futures planned out, and although they knew what the world really meant, they didn't know it at the time, but these students had a lot to learn. They would yearn for the simple times that they had lost by. If only they had cherished the days together, would it have made a difference? There was still so much knowledge yet to be acquired. Knowledge is the key to everything.
Don't underestimate it or how it can change lives. With the power of knowledge,
80.
80 students slowly realized not everything in the world works perfectly. Tribulations strike hard, and they were just skimming the surface. Still, laughter wrote the days between projects, and at the end of the day, they could go home to their childhoods, and where there was nothing too scary, and the only monsters they faced were the ones under their beds, and not the ones that come with living. And
there was always time for the future later. It was only something to be glimpsed at and never taken seriously.
60.
60 students went through their days, realization creeping in. The change was slow to start, but soon took over. Questions were asked, but the answers seemed to be just out of reach. In a place always lurking in the shadows, it demands to be given attention. The future held all their deepest desires and all their greatest fears. None of the students would have thought that some of these days would be the most difficult they would ever experience. But still, they kept on and didn't give up. Struggles have a way of uniting people. 51.
51 students walked through the door as new people. They stopped caring so much about everyday schedules and classes they faced. These students realized there's more to life than trivial assignments, even if they really needed to work on those assignments. Yet they panicked about new things, jobs, school, and the ever-looming future. They were stuck in a limbo of holding on to their youth and trying to face the world as adults. They had lost many friends, found themselves saying goodbye to one path and hello to another, and they were learning that no matter how rough things got, they may not have the whole world,
but they would always have each other.
47.
47 students made it to the end of their high school career. It was so different from what they had imagined 4 years ago, yet somehow so much better. But they are still afraid. We are still afraid, and we don't have all the answers we're looking for, but we don't need them. Questions are much more useful when you're looking for the answer instead of pretending to already know it, for fear of how you might be perceived by others. We have learned independent thought from all the struggles in our lives and so many changes. Most importantly, we've learned that we are stronger together.
Yet, what of the future? No one knows what tomorrow will look like, much less 10 years from now. Life is hard, and we will stumble and sometimes fall. And when we talk now of how we'll always cherish these memories and always have each other, we forget we're only human. And there may be a time when we forget the love and laughter we've shared. But never forget that if you feel lost and alone, you have yourself. Never forget your legs have carried you for miles throughout your life. And never forget your body has healed every bruise, cut, and scrape you have ever gotten. Yes, life may be hard, but if we have learned anything in high school, and if we may ever even briefly forget the community and love we have found here, we will know
we are strong enough together. I'm sorry.
What an honor it has been for me to be your principal, and what an accomplishment for these young men and women. Today is especially poignant for me because it will be my last graduation ceremony as principal of Nex+Gen Academy. I have been so fortunate and happy to be so involved in the design, development, and implementation the last 6.5 years of a very remarkable school that will continue to thrive and grow long after the class of 2015 and I move on. This afternoon, as I present the third graduating class to our school board members, I think back to when I first met most of you in the spring and summer of 2011. As 8th graders, you and your family heard about a new APS school of choice called by various names Next Generation, or Nex+Gen, or even Nex+Gen. Were we a charter school, part of Del Norte? You and your family were curious to learn more about what could make our school special and different, and a good match for you for the next 4 important years of your education and development. I am so glad that you chose to be a part of Nex+Gen, and ultimately, you helped us become who we are today, one of the top high schools of choice in New Mexico. But it was a choice, and that choice was quite a leap of faith, but one you and your facilitators took on in an exceptional fashion. Whether it was the Cancer Fair and iBio with Miss Floyd and Mr. English, who, by the way, wanted to be here today but couldn't. He's running a very successful business, using a lot of the tools he learned from Nex+Gen. Or the T-shirts and hoodies of the zombie movie, or the zombie movie in Miss Lope's digital media class. The Job Shadow and the Religiology project in sophomore year. Or all of the Socratic seminars and annotations last year with that Choose Your Own Physics project at the end of the year with Mr. Chernow. Your teachers made sure you had a voice, you had choices for learning, and were challenged to master more than just the key standards of a high school education, but also those enduring skills that you needed as you leave Nex+Gen today, ready for the next chapter of your life. To me, that means that you are experienced and successful in inquiry and analysis, collaboration, communication, and agency, skills which will take you far, no matter what college you go to or career that you choose. You have certainly succeeded and demonstrated you are more than ready for the next phase of your life. I know that because I've seen you succeed individually and collectively, and not just because I've been watching you through my window from my office. I know this because you as a class improved your abilities in math, reading, and writing at a level and rate far greater than almost all of the other high school students in New Mexico in becoming proficient and advanced in those high-stakes tests last year. 90% of you have already taken the ACT, an extraordinary high number, and as a class you met or exceeded the national averages for college readiness. I know you are ready for the next chapter of your lives because I saw so many of you learn outside of your classes about yourselves and what you really can do for your future in your many and varied mentorships experience. One great mentorship memory was seeing Clark Ginn describing so well up at the Promethean board that with enthusiasm how the brain connects and can control a computer. I know you're ready individually because each of you have a plan. One that might and probably will change in the next couple years. But most importantly, you are leaving Nex+Gen with a plan. Some of you are going into military service, and I'm proud of each of you for your commitment to our country. We are very proud of Lindsay Porter, a UNM Regents Scholar, our very first, and Adriana Venegas, a UNM Woodward Scholar, also a first, both earning full rides through college for the next 4 years. And nearly all of our students are moving on to a 2- or 4-year college, and many of them are earning bridge scholarships. Finally, in going back to your first meeting at Nex+Gen Academy, you heard me talk a lot about the importance of community, our pillars, our core values, and holding each other accountable. Unusual language for most high schools, large and small. You definitely became a true community in every way. And I know because I saw you demonstrate every day our core values of trust, respect, responsibility, integrity, and perseverance. As a result of your experience in the Nex+Gen learning community, I know that you will be successful in the communities that you join in the next stages of your lives. Your facilitators, your teachers that guided you these past 4 years are among the best in New Mexico. I don't know of any other graduating class this week that can say that they were taught by no less than 7 national board certified teachers in high school. Our entire staff of teachers that spend more than 100 hours a year in professional development to improve on an already excellent teaching and learning activities, projects, and problems for students. I'd like to ask you to please stand and thank all of your facilitators here today. Thank you. You know, you and your families have helped us build our learning community, special in the way that we have worked together over the last 4 years. Your parents and family supported our mission in typical ways, such as last-minute trips to stores for project boards and materials for final presentations due the next day. But your families also went above and beyond. Some drove you from miles away across the city to school every day. Many came to project presentations in our cyber hall and attended many open houses and potlucks. Your families went even further by working with your facilitators and me on school-wide activities that supported our 3 goals of areas of literacy, math and science, and culture and community. Remember the Moth event last year, our fall open houses? I want to thank you, parents and families, for your trust in Nex+Gen Academy. Graduates, I'd like to ask you to stand again and thank your family as well. You may be seated. As I present you to our APS school board members, I need to describe and celebrate what you have accomplished far beyond the minimum 25 credits required by the state or the passing scores in end-of-course exams and standards-based assessments or other alternative demonstrations of competence. You did much more than that. Most of you successfully completed a senior project, a year-long personal inquiry that included research, working with a mentor, writing about your journey and what you learned, and presented your project to the community. Although I couldn't be there with you that evening, and believe me, I really wanted to so badly to support you in person rather than laying in the hospital bed that I was in, I heard great things about Jade and her barrel racing project with the Promethean board, out on the soccer field delivering her presentation from on top of her horse. And Shella's amazing project, Beyond Kale, a vegan cookbook that is already published on Amazon.com. Each of your senior projects provided you a special opportunity not many of your peers in New Mexico have. You got to explore your passion in such a special way, and I'm so proud of you. You successfully completed more than the minimum credits to graduate. You took 2 years of a foreign language, 4 years of science, and a very full load of classes, adding up to 28 high school credits for most of you. In your junior year, almost all of you participated in mentorships that ranged from the biopark to the credit union to even Sandia National Labs. Your accomplishments go on in the fact that all of you successfully earned college credit at CNM and UNM in our dual credit program. More than that, many of you took a second CNM or UNM class, and you challenged yourselves with classes in psychology, information technology, college writing, and even biology. You know you can be confident as you go on to your future full-time colleges, whether it be New Mexico Tech, State, UNM, or CNM, or beyond. I can go on in celebrating your accomplishments, and you know I can. But I especially want to recognize 20 of our seniors today who are graduating with distinction as seen by the red and silver cords that they're wearing. You had a 2.5 GPA, completed the mentorship and the senior project, 2 years of a foreign language, and 2 dual credit courses, and a final portfolio. It's a remarkable accomplishment. Will my seniors graduating with this distinction please stand so we can recognize you? Thank you. You may be seated. And finally, I want to celebrate all of my graduates who, because of your trust in Nex+Gen, the respect you have shown me and to your facilitators, the high level of personal responsibility and accountability, your integrity, especially when no one was looking, and your perseverance to tackle challenging projects and problems. Because of all of this, I and your facilitators and future graduating classes at Nex+Gen Academy, we applaud you and wish you great good success in the future. Congratulations. Board members Piercy and Muller-Aragon, I would like to present the class of 2015. They have met all of the graduation requirements as set forth by the Albuquerque Public Schools Board of Education, along with the New Mexico Public Education Department. To you, I present the class of 2015.
On behalf of the Albuquerque Public School Board of Education, it's our honor to accept this 2015 graduating class from Nex+Gen Academy. I am a mathematician. But I would like to also take this brief time to also say a great thank you to your principal. He has been the foundation for this wonderful experience, and the students that you have here are the beneficiary of his vision for this Nex+Gen Academy. So graduates, congratulations. You are commencing another part of your long journey. So congratulations, and we thank all of you for what you are and what you will be. Thank you.
Ryan Lee Anderson. Anthony Apodaca. Veronica Naomi Apodaca. Ricky Francis Arrighetti. Brian River Baca. Paul Brandon Baca. Patrick Dale Bosley. Catherine Frances Campbell. Jared Dooley. Alexander Samuel Doyle. Ivan Jose Encalada. Amanda Jade Evans. Roberto Alexander Felix. Javier Antonio Flores. Danielle Sienna Fries.
Ahmed Jibril. Clark Hezekiah Ginn. Catherine Elise Herpick Gray. Samantha Ann Heine. Walter Dean Honeycutt. Dominic Matthew Levy. Sheridan Joshua Lund. Jacob Paul Martinez. Jordan Isaiah Martinez. Joe Mendoza. Jared James Mondragon. Ryan Montaño. Nicholas Pais. Lindsay Renee Porter. Peter Renna.
Ivan Robles. Ashlyn Michaela Romero. Larissa Jean Romero. Rochelle Rowlett. Matthew Delfinio Sanchez. Raymond Sandoval. Rihanna Nicole Shingle. Chana Diane Sigler. Carrie Lynn Stanford. Brandon Michael Stider. Olin Dennis Ray Stump. Cameron Ruben Tapia. Christina Marie Lizio. Adriana Venegas Diaz. Jordan Lee Vinson. Deborah Nicole Witter.
Lindsay Porter is the daughter of Michelle and Jeffrey Porter. Throughout her time at Nex+Gen, she participated in art club, writing club, student government, MESA, and National Honor Society. In her time outside of school, she enjoyed jazz dance and held down a part-time job her senior year. She earned the Regents Scholarship and will be attending UNM in the fall to earn a degree in biology. Ladies and gentlemen, Nex+Gen Academy 2015's valedictorian, Lindsay Porter.
We made it. We have worked, we have worked for 12 years for this day, starting as young children, barely able to read a Dr. Seuss book, now crafted into adults, ready to make life decisions. We have spent over 900,000 minutes in school to reach this milestone, to be sitting on this stage. And I've got to say, it feels really good. When I first started reflecting on my time at Nex+Gen, the theme that kept sticking in my mind was family. Any graduating class shares a special bond, because those were the faces in your classes and the names on the roster. But Nex+Gen graduating classes are so much more special. Because there are less than 50 of us, we can't help but get to know each other. We work together in groups, we learn new things together, and essentially, we grew into who we are today, together. We have those classmates that are like the awkward cousins that never really talk, the obnoxious aunts and uncles that never stop talking, the crazy grandpa that tells the dirty jokes, and the parents that try to rein everyone in and keep everything under control. And sure, we had the gossip and the drama that every family experiences at its Thanksgiving dinner. But no matter what happened, we still loved each other at the end of the project. And in that aspect, we truly are like a family. But then, as I continued my reminiscing, I realized we're more like survivors of a plane crash. Really. We're a group of random strangers with next to nothing in common except being in the same place at the same time. Before August of 2011, most of us had never even met. I remember one of the first days of freshman year, we were all crowded into the cyber hall receiving our laptops. Mr. Steele, he was on the stage telling us to double check that we had received a laptop, a charger, and a bag. He kept saying bag. I couldn't figure out what he was saying. I didn't know if I had a bag. I was looking around. I didn't know who to ask. Then I realized he was saying bag, but in his Canadian accent, it was coming out as big. That was the first time I realized I had crash landed into the world of high school with no handbook or survival guide. Then we were thrown into groups, given some very vague entry docs, and expected to figure it out. And you know what we did? We figured it out, together. The class of 2015 have always problem-solved together, whether it was getting our heart rate monitors to work in freshman year, or braving the assessors of our senior projects. We may not have faced hardships of, finding food, shelter, and building a fire, but we faced the daily struggle of the internet not working, or Google Docs not working, or our computers dying. If we were on a deserted island, we wouldn't survive without water. But in the world of PBL, we wouldn't survive without friendships. I know that sounds really cheesy, but I truly think it was vital to our success. When we got to pick our groups, we always chose to work with our friends. When the stress of a final product was getting to us, we would vent to our friends. Throughout this traumatic experience, we've built bonds and memories that will last a lifetime. And I'm sure we have some memories that we never want to relive, like the grueling annotations of American Studies. But as soul-crushing as they may have been at the time, now we have a survival skill that will be invaluable to us in college. We may not have had the survival skills coming into this, but we sure do now. Just as would be expected of any plane crash, we lost some of our members along the way, and we're down to the 47 survivors. And now, we're getting our life raft. Our diploma will be what keeps us afloat in the ocean of life. We've all worked so hard to get here, but we didn't do it alone. We sent out many SOS signals, particularly in Mr. Buck's class, and our facilitators came to our rescue. You helped make us who we are today. You helped us grow and change and learn. Thank you to Dr. Stanton for making this school a possibility. Without all of your hard work, the piece of paper we just received would hold no weight or meaning. We're going to miss you, and we wish you luck in your future adventures. Thank you to the parents and families out in the audience who supported us along the way. You listened to our practice presentations, you dealt with our homework anxiety at 1 in the morning, and you kept track of our grades on Echo. Or you probably didn't, but we wouldn't have done it without your love. And finally, I want to thank my classmates. Coming from Nex+Gen, you truly helped me earn my education. We all worked together to get to where we are today. We've helped each other survive, and now we finally made it. 900,000 minutes have led us to this point, and now we must ask ourselves, what are we going to accomplish with our next 900,000 minutes? Thank you. Thank you. Class of 2015, you may now move your tassels from the right to the left.
We are at our conclusion, and just to let you know that we're going to recess out, and we're going to move out over to the left over here. You'll see your students outside into the courtyard. You'll have a chance for pictures and hugs and balloons and everything else. So, in closing, I want to thank our honored guests for joining us for this commencement. Thank you very much. Thank you. Graduates, thank you, and enjoy.
It's been a long day without you, my friend, and I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. We've come a long way from where we began. Oh, I'll tell you all about it when I see you again. When I see you again.
Damn, who knew? All the planes we flew, good things we've been through. That I'll be standing right here talking to you about another path. I know we love to hit the road and laugh, but something told me that it wouldn't last. Had to switch up, look at things different, see the bigger picture. Those were the days, hard work forever pays. Now I see you in a better place. See you in a better place. How can we not talk about family when family's all that we got? Everything I went through, you were standing there by my side.